Good morning and thanks for watching. My name is Rob Coble. I work for ECPI University in Lake Mary. I work in both admissions and career services. I've spent the past 15 years in career services, helping students and graduates learn the skills needed to succeed in their industry and accomplish their personal and professional goals. I also host the podcast, This is Orlando, which features professionals throughout our region discussing what they look for in candidates and how you can get involved in their communities. My philosophy has always been dream big, have a plan, work hard, make friends. Do these 4 things and you will be amazed at the results. I love talking most about the making friends part, or networking as you will hear it called. However, today we're going to talk about resumes. A resume is an important tool and a huge part of the application process. A resume tells people a lot about you even before they read the first word. It is the first step into establishing yourself as a professional that should be taken seriously. It's the first impression many will have of you, and we all know that you don't get a second chance at a first impression. So why is a resume important? Well, much has changed over the past 15 years. With the introduction of so many social media sites, people can hop online at any time and learn most all they need to know about somebody in a matter of minutes. In fact, this is what happens to anyone these days who submits a resume when applying for a job. Recruiters and hiring managers utilize social media to fill in the blanks and learn things about candidates that they cannot find on their resumes. However, resumes remain an important part of how we go about securing employment. They give us an opportunity to show in detail how we would make a contribution to any organization. They help to establish a brand of responsibility and credibility. More importantly, it tells what we bring to the table. People are hired to do a job because the company has a problem that needs to be solved. Your resume shows them that you have the skills and the training to solve these problems. It can also show them that you have a good understanding of how a workplace functions and that you possess the skills needed to help run it smoothly through good communication and teamwork. A good resume is a crucial tool needed to get your foot in the door in order to sell yourself in a job interview. It is not the end all. And most people have never gotten hired through a resume alone. However, if it is well done and contains all the right information, it will capture their attention enough for them to want to bring you in for an interview where you will then have the opportunity to go into much more detail about your past experiences and qualifications. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to prepare your resume. Not only what needs to be on it, but how to make it effective. As you're getting started, keep these following things in mind. As somebody who's been responsible for hiring and reviewing resumes for over 30 years, I have a certain way I go about reviewing resumes. I can tell upon first glance whether or not I will consider a candidate without reading one word. The first thing I look for is appearance and organization. Does the resume look like someone took the time to present themselves in a professional manner? Did they take the time to make sure the sections are uniformed and tidy? Are the sections arranged in the correct order? Does it look like they cared enough to take the time to present themselves well? Department of Labor statistics prove that I'm not the only one who starts this way. They state that the average amount of time any hiring manager takes to review a resume is 7 seconds. 7 seconds. No matter how great your accomplishments, you may never have the chance to show them off if you don't take the time to organize and present them properly. Something else that is extremely important is to always keep in the back of your mind while writing that the top 5 attributes employers look for in their candidates. These attributes cross disciplines and will be looked for no matter what kind of job you want. These are the things that are hard to convey in writing if you don't know how, but good hiring managers know how to read between the lines of resumes to find them. They are passion, teamwork, communication, adaptability, and willingness. Again, these are the top 5 attributes that employers look for when they're getting ready to hire somebody. As you compose your resume and your accomplishments, you want to be sure and to show off your personal skills as well. Hiring managers will hire the candidate who best fits and gets along with their team over a brilliant technical candidate with no interpersonal skills every time. It is always easier to teach a technical skill than a good personal behavior, and managers know that someone who is passionate will show up to work on time and in good spirits most every day. Having a good appearance and a great demeanor will get you the opportunity to show off your technical skills. People like to work with people that they like and get along with. The first thing through a hiring manager's mind is whether or not they could stand to be in the same office with this candidate for 8 hours a day without wanting to strangle them. Believe it or not, much of this can be determined by the way you present your resume and the words you use to describe yourself and your accomplishments. There are many templates online to help you decide how you want to organize your resume, and here are a couple to get you started. Notice how the margins in the sections are uniformed and neat. Each section follows the same formatting. Some of the headings may be larger or in a larger font than the information provided, but all remain uniformed. Each section is easy to find and the specific skills pop off the page without having to search for them. Accomplishments are condensed into bullet points, making it easier for the reader to digest each statement. Most hiring managers don't want to wade through paragraph after paragraph of text to find what they are after. There are no personal pronouns, I's and my's, but each bullet point is written as facts stating what the person did, and this is important, how they did it. Concise and to the point. Remember, the people that review resumes are busy, and it's easier for them to discredit an application than it is to accept it. Many of these folks review hundreds of thousands of resumes per month, so you want to make sure that you are making it as easy as possible for them. Things to keep in mind as you prepare to write your resume are appearance, organization, attention to detail, spelling, grammar. It will help to remember that your resume is a living, breathing thing and will continue to evolve as you gain experience. Once you finish your first draft, be sure to look it over, show it to friends and family, and compare to other good examples. It's often easier to get all of your thoughts on paper up front and then format and chisel away. Reiteration is welcomed. You will most likely fine-tune and change things around a few times before you have your first final draft. Once you have all the verbiage completed, it's easier to format in a manner that is easy to read and scan. Oh, and one last thing, one page only. Very important. With that said, let's get into the different sections of your resume. And they include the masthead, your summary, skills, experience, work experience, and additional information. I'm going to take a few minutes to go through each section. The first section we're going to do is the masthead. Who are you and how do they find you? This is the section that sets the overall look and feel of your resume. No need to get too fancy, but often your name will be larger than the rest of the page. Be sure it's neat and aligned and includes your name, contact information, including phone and email address. If you have a website or a LinkedIn page, it's a good idea to include it here as well. Take a look at this example. You can add hyperlinks to social media and websites as well. The next section is going to be a summary. What about you will make them want to continue reading? You may have seen resumes in the past with an objective instead of a summary. This is a pretty old school way of writing a resume. An objective is a statement of your goals, or in other words, what you want. This is not as important to the reader as what you offer. They're looking for what's in it for them, or in other words, why should they consider your application? A summary works best. This gives you the opportunity to offer no more than 3 sentences on why you should be considered. Maybe it has to do with your previous experience. Do you have exceptional grades? Do your passions fall in line with the job description? Offer a compelling story that will grab their attention and give them no doubt that you have the passion and skills to perform the job you're applying for. A summary can change with each resume you send to more closely match the job you are applying for. Always be honest. Never lie on a resume. If you're caught, you'll never get a second chance to redeem yourself. However, many of you have multiple skills, all of which cannot possibly fit into the summary, so be sure to use the ones that are the most appropriate to the job you're applying for. Here's a few examples of some good and bad summaries. This is a summary responding to a job as a game programmer. So in the bad example, you see somebody saying that they are a passionate programmer who loves playing games, works on his own projects after school when he's not working at McDonald's, graduated with a 2.9. This summary really doesn't offer anything of use to the reader. There is nothing compelling here to make the hiring manager want to pursue this applicant. Saying you're passionate and showing your passions are two entirely different things. Working at McDonald's will be discussed in the work experience section and is only important to establish your employability. Showing that you can hold a job is good, but not in the summary. Remember, what you do offer is more important than what you have accomplished when writing your summary. Here's a good example. A programmer with 3 years coding experience has completed 3 complete applications. Course Director's Award for Principles of Programming, graduated with a 3.6 GPA and perfect attendance. This example shows many things beyond a good GPA and perfect attendance. 3 years of experience and completed projects show an ability to see things through to the end, and having 3, not 1 project hints at passion for the discipline. The next section is your skills section. Think of it like this. What tools are you comfortable working with, and what attributes do you possess that will make you more valuable in this position? If you were a carpenter, you would have a tool belt loaded with hammers, nails, screwdrivers, wrenches, rulers. You would need to be able to read and understand blueprints, get along with other workers, listen and take direction from the supervisor, communicate effectively, and be able to relate your thoughts and ideas to the supervisor and the rest of the work crew. Now, what tools do you possess that will qualify you for the position that you are applying to? Don't forget that personal skills are important as well. Be ready and able to give examples of skills that are tough to quantify, such as teamwork and communication. Be ready to show examples if someone asks you to demonstrate your good communication skills, in other words. Here's a good example of a thorough skills section. Personal, professional, and technical skills. All are important. We're going to include 2 experience sections. One is going to be project experience, the other is work experience. 2 separate sections that sound like they should be the same, but here's the difference. Work experience is anything you've been paid for. Project experience is anything you have done, including classroom experience, that is relevant to the job you are trying to get. Using again the example of a game programmer, many degree programs offer hands-on experience in the classroom. Even though this is not job experience, it does require that you perform the same duties and tasks that you would were you to be in a professional game studio. The first experience section will be for any projects you have done, and especially those you have completed, that allows you to display and show off your skills in a practical way, even though you weren't paid for it. This is the best spot to show off both your personal and technical skills. What is most important here is not how well the project turned out, but rather what you learned and contributed to the project. Be concise. and always say what you did as well as how you did it. Explain the scope of the project. How large was the team? Did you utilize a specific production methodology? What source control did you use? Then tell me exactly what and how you contributed to the project. Here's a quick example of a project description that shows the difference in wording and establishes good teamwork experience. In the bad example, our candidate showed us that he programmed the user interface. In the good example, he shows that he contributed to the user interface by incorporating Lua into C++. The addition of contributed adds a depth of teamwork, and the addition of the programming languages makes the statement more real to the eyes of the reader. Here's another example. Created an app that predicts the weather, program the AI. Or you could say, I created an app with a team of 5 programmers in a 3-month development cycle. Used the A-star algorithm for AI pathfinding. Being specific with technologies used helps it come to life. Explaining a team and development cycle shows that you understand the process. Now, your work experience will highlight any full or part-time jobs that you have held. What's most important here is not always the work that you did, unless of course it's relevant to the job that you seek, but more the fact that you know what it means to have a job. For example, if you worked at McDonald's for a year, it tells me a lot about you. The fact that you made it for a year tells me that you must have shown up on time most days, taken direction well, got along with coworkers, and performed your duties in a satisfactory manner. The fact that you worked is more important than what you actually did while working. The skills you used at this job may not be in line with what you will be doing on your new job, but being responsible and having a job at all tells the hiring manager all they need to know. Some recruiters will say they don't need to see non-relevant work experience. But I've also been told by recruiters that they will not hire someone unless they have had a crappy job first. So know that it's not something that will harm you. As your career grows and you gain more experience, these items will be replaced with all of the relevant work experience you have received. Here's a couple of good examples with some explanations. Remember to highlight accomplishments over tasks. Reiterate the skills used and tell us not only what you did, but how you did it. The last section we're going to talk about is an additional information section. This gives you the opportunity to really separate yourself from the rest of the pack. This is the section that allows you to really show off your passion. For example, at a previous university I worked for, all of the students that graduated received the exact same training and class project schedule. Each would show on their resume 2 projects in the same skill set. So how do people differentiate from these resumes? I get asked all the time to present candidates that have gone beyond the classroom and sought out additional ways to improve their skills. They do this by working on side projects, becoming a part of local or national organizations related to their industry, attending meetups and networking with other professionals. Working with nonprofit organizations shows a willingness to get involved and help others. It tells us a lot more about you, the person, than just the accomplishments you list in your project section. These are the character traits that people look for when making hiring decisions. I often go to this section first when we're viewing resumes. Here's an example to give you something to think about. Be sure to list extracurricular activities, volunteer service associations, cool hobbies, and languages, just to name a few. Okay, so by now you should have the makings of a complete resume. Use each section to help you complete the others. In other words, as you compose your skills, think about how you've used these skills in projects and at work to help you compose your experience section. As you list your educational accomplishments, you will be reminded of the skills you have obtained, and so on. The beauty of a resume lies in the iterative process. You should have at least 3 iterations of your resume. Now that all of the accomplishments are listed, you can work on condensing them into concise and succinct bullet points making sure spelling and grammar are in good order. Remember that one page only is essential. If you have too much to fit on one page, look to ways to reformat and also review the text and see if you're being too wordy or need to delete certain things. Ask yourself if this resume is a good example of who you are and the skills and experience you bring to the table. Does it show that you meet the basic requirements of the job you are looking to apply to? Did you match your skills and experience to the job description? Are you able to speak passionately about why you are a good fit for the job and why you want to be considered for this position? If not, take a few minutes to review and iterate. Remember, you can have more than one resume. You will have more of a chance to sell yourself in the cover letter. That's another topic that we need to address in another presentation. Thanks a lot for taking a look at this video, and it's kind of hard to get everything in one quick video like this. So I invite you to check out my website at robcoble.org or my Facebook page, Rob Coble Career Management, where you'll find a lot more information about professional skills and networking. Also, feel free to contact me via email at rwcoble@gmail.com or find me on LinkedIn as well. And I really appreciate your time. I hope this helped. I'm always standing by to help in any way I can, so don't be a stranger. Thanks.